I've always liked the idea of open-ear earbuds, but I've never liked bone conduction. The audio quality just was always distractingly disappointing. But now, Shokz has something new. These are the Shokz Open Fit, and they are open-ear earbuds that don't rely on bones. Yo, what's going on everybody? My name is Kofuzi and I'm a non-elite runner who views running things here on YouTube. And today I'm gonna talk to you guys about the Shokz Open Fit, open ear, non-bone conduction earbuds. Before I get to my thoughts on this new set of earbuds, I do want to go over some disclosures. This is a pair of earbuds that Shokz sent to me for the purpose of review, so I did not have to pay for them. However, no one's paying me to make this video or to use this product, and no one's gonna get a chance to preview any of my footage or my thoughts before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. So with that disclosure out of the way, let's talk about the Shokz Open Fit. First, let's go over some specs on these. The big headline for this is that it's not bone conduction, which was primarily what Shokz, the brand, was known for, which is a technology which uses drivers that instead of moving air, they vibrated against your head or your bones, and that is what transmitted the sound that you were able to perceive. I always found that that technology just really lacked a lot of bass and everything felt very tinny and kind of far away. So now, while Shokz still does bone conduction products, the Open Fit incorporates a new technology that Shokz is calling direct pitch. And it's kind of like a regular set of earbuds in the sense that there's a driver and a little speaker and there's ports in the enclosure that allow the sound to escape, but it's still an open ear design. So there's nothing that goes in your ear canals and the earbuds kind of shoot the sound into your ears. So that leaves the ears themselves open, which is, I think, Shoksz's main kind of value proposition is that they leave the user with situational awareness. Now, another thing that's a big departure for Shokz in this product is that they're using like kind of two separate earbuds now. Typically from Shokz, what we've seen is a single device that kind of connects with a loop up, like a plastic loop that goes around the back of your neck. This time there's two separate units that are still using though an over the ear loop. Charging happens in this charging case, which is also itself a battery. It recharges with USB-C. Now, each charge should give you about 7 hours of listening according to Shokz. And overall with the case, if you're using them together, you should be able to get a total of 28 hours of listening time. Also, there is a fast charging option where if you charge them for just 5 minutes, that should top you up for about an hour of listening or be able to get you through most of your gym sessions. In terms of controlling the device, there are buttons on each side. They're not physical buttons, so they're touchpad buttons. And the last thing that I'll talk about for these earbuds is that they are IP54 rated. So they're not exactly waterproof, but I've also been able to test this set of earbuds in some heavier rain conditions, and I haven't experienced any problems so far. Now let's talk about the fit for these. I have long hair, I have glasses, I run with them, and so I'm typically using them for very sweaty activities. But overall, I found the experience in terms of wearing these for them to be lightweight, and a lot of times you just kind of forget that they're there. And anytime that I went to the gym and just kind of kept them on afterwards and continued listening to either music or a podcast when I got back home, it was very easy to wear them for hours at a time. I've even tested them with some winter hats, which was a big concern with the touch sensitive buttons, but even a winter hat that covers those touchpad areas, I haven't had any unintentional presses, except for a handful of times when I was out there running and adjusting my hat. In that situation, that's when I did get an extra unintended button press or two. But I was able to, however, interact with those touchpad buttons, even though I had some running gloves on. And so now let's talk about the most important thing when it comes to earbuds is how do they sound? And I'll say, first of all, that these are much better than bone conduction earbuds. I can actually hear some bass in the product, and I feel like the mids and trebles are actually very pleasant. I feel like I'm getting a much more full audio experience when I'm using the Open Fit and their direct pitch technology compared to the bone conduction technology of the Shokz products that I've reviewed in the past. The bone conduction always just makes me feel like the music is kind of faintly somewhere else and I'm overhearing someone else's music. But with the Open Fit, I actually felt like I was listening to my own music. And even on my runs on some windier days, I felt like I was able to get enough volume from the product that I didn't find it distracting or limiting to use this other kind of technology. And it is nice to be able to keep the ear canals open so you can hear some of the things around you. But ultimately, when it comes to the sound, audiobooks and podcasts sound fantastic when I'm listening to the Open Fit. But when it comes to listening to music, there's still just something that I'm missing when it comes to that bass and getting that fullness of sound that I'm looking for when I'm listening to music. Now, one other thing that I was particularly curious about is what the sound leak was going to be like, because when it came to the previous bone conduction Shokz products that I've tried before, I always felt like I had a hard time listening to the music myself, but when I kind of took the product off and it kind of continued playing, it felt like everyone else could hear it really loudly. Like the product itself was a noisy product. So I did a very kind of like crude test. I finally did buy a decibel meter. I've actually had it for several years, just never found any reason to use it until now. And I was actually surprised at how little sound leak there was from this. Yes, there is. And I do think it's more than I would get from, say, noise canceling earbuds or from over the ear headphones. But surprisingly, I didn't find it to be distracting in terms of the amount of noise leak that there could be. And I think that in pretty much any situation, except for maybe if I'm studying in a quiet library around other people, I don't think that it's something that people are going to notice. So overall, I don't think I'm personally going to be switching away from my noise canceling earbuds. I just really prefer the sound that's in there. But I overall am really happy with how much better these Open Fit sound than the bone conduction that I've tried from Shokz in the past. I'm glad that they're experimenting and adopting new technologies and continually trying to push forward the open ear and situational awareness concept while also still improving the sound. I'm excited to see where Shokz goes in the future in terms of developing and iterating on this product. And I'm much more likely to try more Shokz products in the future based on how much I do like the Open Fit today. So those are my thoughts on the Open Fit from Shokz. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions, or better yet, stop by the live stream that I do Monday through Friday over on the Kofuzi Run Club channel. I'd love to talk to you in the chat. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?